Okay, everyone, welcome to Kempner Sports, which I am so excited to talk today to my friend, Brad Thomas, the one and the only, the legend, the myth, the man. And we are here to talk about something that I didn't think we were going to be able to talk about this season, NBA basketball. Now, I am so welcome, Brad. Love having you here, and
thanks for having me.
Talking basketball with you. Now, what I've learned about you and I is we respectfully agree to disagree at times.
Yes.
But for me, I love that you have a very educated opinion, and you are one of my favorite people to talk basketball with. Now,
Right back at you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because everyone else thinks I'm crazy, but I am not crazy. Some people think I'm crazy, but it's not I who am crazy. It is I who am loco. No, joking. Okay. So, here's the thing. Brad and I are both not only NBA fans, but we're also reverends, ordained ministers of the gospel of Jesus Christ, who we preach, we marry, and unfortunately, we sometimes have to bury. And we say rest in peace, George Floyd. Don't want to get into that too much today. But we are privileged to share hope with people. And so for some people who are watching this and they're saying, okay, that's it. These guys are pastors. They don't have an opinion. Listen, we are basketball fans, and we love talking basketball. It's not our first love or our second love, but it's close. Okay. So, Brad, now when we met and it was like a good, acquaintance thing, but over the years we've gotten to know each other better. And I want you to tell me your story, because I think your story is amazing. I know you won't have all night to do this, but you and I lived in the Lower Mainland. And I went to Grizzly games. I know that you did as well. And I've seen some of the greats, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, people like that, Grant Hill. I know some people like, who's Grant Hill? Okay, so, but then our team got sold. And this was a real I'm still angry about it today. And then the Sonics got sold. Okay, tell me how you moved and how that podcast started real quick.
Okay. Oh, so the sports side of it, all of it. Okay. So yeah, I grew up in the Lower Mainland, grew up in just outside of Vancouver. My brother actually, when he was a young kid, got really sick, actually battled cancer, and was effectively given box seats to a couple Grizzly games. And I went with him, and that's where I kind of fell in love with basketball. Now, I knew about it beforehand, had watched some games with my dad. But that really started just this passion. And as I got older, became a Sonics fan, right, particularly through like the 96, 97, 98 season, right, when they had Sean Camp, Gary Payton, all that kind of stuff. Then my youth pastor and I would drive down to Seattle to watch basketball games constantly. That kept up when I went to Bible college. And then actually my then girlfriend transferred into fiance, which into wife. All throughout college, we would drive down for games. Usually after we get through finals, we'd get a pack of a couple games and be just constantly going back and forth between Vancouver, Seattle. Then after Bible college, the Lord called my wife and I down to northern Oklahoma. We were youth and kids pastors there, and then my team followed me, and I was heartbroken for all my friends who lost their team, but I loved it. And I got, the tickets were dirt cheap. We got front row of the nosebleeds, $10 a seat. And so we got season tickets, and I've been a season ticket holder in Oklahoma City for 11 years. I still have them.
What?
And yeah.
I love that story. Okay.
Yeah.
I love all this part of the story. That is amazing. Okay. And then you and your friend and my friend, Joel,
Yes.
started a podcast for the Oklahoma City Thunder called
Thunderground Radio. I'm almost embarrassed to say it.
Why? It was amazing. I seriously listen to it all the time.
That's so funny. We ran it for several years. And it actually, we got picked up by a blog called Daily Thunder. And right after we got picked up by Daily Thunder got picked up by ESPN. And so before we knew it, just because of that, we had access to all the players and to the play-by-play guys, and got to know Sam Presti a little bit. And it was pretty cool, pretty fun.
And I love that story. I love that story. Well, we got to get into actually why we're here, but I'm so thankful to have you on here, and even not just for this YouTube moment, this podcast, but for just the connection. I'm pumped to just chat basketball with you.
Totally, bud.
Okay, so today we are talking that the NBA is back. Potentially, they're talking July 31st. And if I have my dates correct, they are hoping no later than, is it October 12th, I believe, was it? That the NBA Finals last game will be.
Which makes sense because they're trying to effectively avoid crossover with the NFL, I would assume, or potential crossover.
Right. Yeah. So, yes, I think. Did I read that right? Draft lottery is August 31st. No, it was August 25th. Yeah. Okay. I think that's correct. I don't want to give any people. Hey, listen. When it comes to us, you better fact check. Okay.
You're right, though. I got it here on the official release. August 25th is the draft lottery.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I thought they were going to go straight into the playoffs. I'm surprised that they're going into an 8-game regular season, and I'm okay with that because the more basketball, the better, because I missed March Madness like you wouldn't believe. I do not understand how we're going to have the same atmosphere without fans, but I don't care at this stage. I am stoked. There is something about NBA basketball, especially playoff basketball, that's amazing. Now, we both live in Canada. Now, so anyone who's in the States watching this, now it's another strike. We're pastors. Now we're from Canada. What do we know? Listen, Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs. I'm telling you, we know something. Okay. I don't know why that logic makes sense in my brain, but it does. Okay. So we are in Canada, and basketball in Canada is a popular sport. I know that we live in hockey country, and most people watch my channel to watch hockey stuff. But here's the funny thing. Let me just quickly off the top. Hockey playoffs, everyone's all in the first round, and then they start weaning out. NBA, nobody's interested in the first round, and then all of a sudden everyone starts getting interested each round as it goes on. And the finals, people don't miss, right? Like, I don't even know who won Major League Baseball for the last 5 years. I couldn't tell you. All I know is the Astros did, and there's major controversy. That's all I know. NBA playoffs is a global sport, and that's what I'm trying to get to. We being international fans, both people who've gone to Sonics games, Grizzly games. I've also been to Toronto, seen a Raptors versus Bulls game. That was amazing. Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. So there's lots of fans out here, and I think a lot of people are excited just like us. So let's talk about playoffs. Well, let's talk about the seeding. So they're going to play 8 games.
Yeah.
And now you and I are doing some research on that, more you than me. But how do you think that's going to work? Are you happy with that, Brad?
I like it. I like it for a few reasons. So they're including 22 teams, 13 from the West, 9 from the East. They're basically dropping off the 8 teams that effectively have no shot of making it in. From what I understand, they're going to play those 8 games. I think there's some financial implications for teams to play a certain amount of games, and I think that's kind of the incentive for it when it comes to their TV deals. But from what I understand, after you've played all those games, if the 9th seed in each conference is within 4 games of the 8th seed, they will then do almost an extra round of the playoffs that, from what I understand, is going to be a 3-game playoff. That is, you have to win 2 games to get in. Or the 9th seed has to beat the 8th seed at least twice. They don't really go into that super clear. What I love about that is it's almost kind of a soccer European play-in type thing, which again, for nations that are starved for sports entertainment at the moment, I don't care if there are no fans or not, to know that it's like we've got 1 or 2 games and my city, my team could be in the playoffs. Oh, that's so exciting. That's better than, because usually the first round of the playoffs is horrible. And the reason it's horrible is because in a 7-game series in the NBA, the better team not only always wins, but usually sweeps, or it's a 5-game series, and it just tends to drag on forever. So having kind of this playoff thing, I think will be super exciting. I don't know how much they're going to be charging to see all this stuff, but whatever the amount is, I'm probably paying it.
Okay, so now that leads me into another question that I want to ask you. Mm-hmm. Because traditionally 1 versus 8 is not worth watching, if it's now 1 versus 9 or 1 versus 10, does the appeal still be? Like, does it make it worse? Does it make it better because of COVID? Does it make it, who cares? It's on, or watching it?
I think there's still a chance the level of talent of the Lakers or the Bucks versus whoever ends up being in that 8th or 9th seed, it's probably kind of a walkover. But I think the combination of a few things. Number one, everyone's just going to be starving for this, which will make it more entertaining. But the other thing is, why do teams play so hard in the regular season? It's to try and get home court advantage for the playoffs. Home court is effectively out other than seeding. You don't have any of that just energy that you get from the crowd and the fans. And so I do think there's a little bit of an equalizer. Like a 7th game in your home court means nothing now. It's just it's just 7 games. And so I actually think what's funny is I've heard a lot of banter about how, this championship isn't a real championship. It has an asterisk on it. I actually think for your top seeded teams, your Lakers, your Bucks, your Clippers, those types of squads, I actually think it gets harder because you've eliminated home court advantage. So I think it's a little more exciting. Yes, that first round won't be as fun, but I think it's better than usual.
Yeah. And did I read this wrong? That it's not just going to be all East and all West? Or are they crossing over somehow?
The rumor was that they might do away with the conferences. The press release reads like they're going to keep them, although it's certainly not in black and white, and it's not clear to me. Now, I haven't listened. This is just from reading the presser.
Yeah, so, okay, let's just talk about that potential just for a moment. I personally would think if they crossed over, this would be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I know that it wrecks tradition, and there's all kinds of records and that they have to consider. But, man, wouldn't that be exciting? Like, it would be so much more fun.
Yeah.
And now some people are like, well, there's the rivalries. But, okay, the potential that the Clippers and the Lakers could be in the finals together, who doesn't, well, I mean, anyone who hates the Lakers and the Clippers, but that's still a cool potential.
Oh, totally. And just the idea of if you're talking about like the 16th team that gets in playing the first team, like, I don't know, I love the idea of like a Bucks playing potentially the Pelicans in the first round and seeing, like, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, and that's why I think they've opened it up because, okay, so the teams at the bottom end that they're wanting to be in the playoffs are the Pelicans and the Trailblazers, correct?
I don't think no, I think the Trailblazers aren't getting an invite. I think their record was 2. So you got it's New Orleans, San Antonio, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Washington are the teams that are listed here as the ones that would be invited along with the 16.
Wow.
Oh, Portland. No, you're right. Portland was one of them. My bad.
Yeah, so because Portland actually has a better record than the Pelicans. So.
Yeah, the mix-up was Portland is the one team of the 30 that voted against doing this. Sorry.
Dumb. Oh, because they get. Oh, I see. Okay, great. Okay, so I don't know how we do this. I was kind of excited to talk about matchups, but now we can't really do that. Well, I mean, we can. We can hypothetically talk. Like what's the lowest seed on the East that they're talking about? Is it the Wizards they're talking about?
So sorry, New Orleans, Portland, San Antonio, Sacramento, Phoenix. So it's all Western teams other than the Wizards. Washington's the only team.
So it's Washington, Magic, Nets. They're all considered into the playoff or the 8-game regular season.
Yeah, so your 8 Eastern teams that are in the seeding plus Washington.
Wow. Okay. So this is making it a little more harder for us to be like.
Yeah, to really figure it out. I mean, I think it's so. Hold on, I got to pull up. So sorry, I got to pull up the seeding here. But it like you're 1 to 5. Oh, the records are so close this year, so it actually is. It's pretty heated. Sorry, my friend. I should have had this pulled up.
No, I should have done too. But okay, so maybe what we need to do is have a conversation when we know the playoffs for sure. Okay.
Well, here actually we can figure this out pretty easily. So, like in the West, 1 through 7 are basically in because they're all 8 games. They're more than. They're like 4.5, 5 games above. Like Dallas is 40 and 27, and Memphis is 32 and 33, right? So, like, basically everyone from Dallas to the Lakers in the West is pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. And on the East side, Philadelphia to Milwaukee are all up like 4 to 9 games. So it's just Brooklyn or Orlando. So we can actually get a pretty idea of who's going to be in. It's just that last spot or two.
So let's just talk about those bottom end seeds. What do you think the chances are of the Pelicans making noise? It would have to be, 8th to be in? So
they'd have to be 8th or 9th and within 4 games. And right now they're already within, like for instance, New Orleans is already within 4 games, as is Sacramento. And so like Portland, New Orleans, Sacramento, and San Antonio are all within 2 games of each other. And so any one of those teams could, and they're only two games back of Memphis, it looks like, 2.5. So who would I want to see? Absolutely the Pelicans. I want to see Zion, man.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Like,
okay, are you hoping that the Grizzlies drop out and the Trailblazers get in, or are you hoping that the Grizzlies stay in or a different team gets in? What are you thinking there?
I have no interest in watching the Portland Trailblazers play in the playoffs this year. I get the Damian Lillard thing, and maybe it's just the spurned Oklahoma City Thunder fan in me. I just have no interest in watching them get ousted in the first round. They've been a painful team to watch all year. There's a reason they're 29 and 37. That's because they're not fun to watch. I actually really enjoy the Grizzlies this year. They're the kind of a quiet, spunky team, an incredible rookie. And then New Orleans is just so much fun. I have no interest in San Antonio and not a ton of in Sacramento. So the two I want to see I would love to see actually kind of that pre-playoff between the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. That would be my dream thing. How about for you?
Well, I don't have the same bias towards the Thunder. Even though I did really, really love watching him when it was Westbrook, Harden, and KD, that was something special. That shot that Lillard hit, I just cannot believe the confidence. I can't believe he hit it. So I'm sorry to bring up that wound. I like that. Plus, they're very close to me, being in BC. I don't mind having them in. I'm not actually a Trailblazers fan, being a Bulls fan and with Clyde Drexler in those years. But I do think they're more interesting than the Grizzlies until you talked about the rookie. You're right. We need to see Moet. Is it Moet?
Morant.
Morant. Why do I say Moet? I don't know why.
But he's been incredible all year.
He is the real deal. And so I think we need to get him playoff experience. We need people to see what he can do on a national stage. The Pelicans, though, is interesting because they would not be 28-36 if Zion Williamson wasn't hurt for so long.
No, they would be well established in the playoffs.
Okay, so let's just potentially say they're the 8th seed. Okay.
Oh, good.
And now we're talking Zion versus Lakers, and that's what everyone's hoping for, if that's how it works. Or Milwaukee. I don't know how this is all going to shake down. But that is unbelievably fun to watch.
Oh, for a first round, it doesn't get better. Now, I don't think it's going to be largely competitive. I think they could steal a game. But it's just fun to watch someone like LeBron play Zion in Zion's first season. Like I think there's history there. I think there's kind of a not that it would be passing of the torch yet, but it's just a really neat kind of early Michael Jordan playing the Celtics and Bird, and even though the Celtics swept them, it's an important series in Jordan's career. Like I really, really would enjoy seeing that.
But they're not going to leapfrog the Mavericks, the Rockets, the Thunder in this 8 games. There's no, it's not even logically possible. It's not even mathematically possible.
Mathematically, it's not, because they are 10.5 games back of Dallas.
So if they don't cross over, they're playing the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets for sure.
They'd be playing the Lakers almost certainly. Unless the Lakers lost basically every game, because they're almost 6 games up on the Clippers. So it would be a Lakers and Pelicans first round.
Okay. Now let's go over the East for a moment, because LeBron leaves. We all knew he was leaving. I still wish he stayed in Cleveland, but it is what it is. The East now is open.
Yeah.
The Raptors beat the Bucks once they shut down Giannis.
Yeah.
And now they don't have Kawhi.
Yes.
I am not a Raptors fan, even though I do appreciate the Raptors. I am not in fact, I know lots of people know this, but I was cheering for Golden State last year. And in fact, I still believe to this day, if Clay didn't get hurt, they would have won that game 6. And okay.
Wow.
But I still do appreciate the Raptors. And to me, the most interesting thing going into the playoffs, story-wise, is the Raptors, because I want to see what they're going to do without Kawhi, because I believe that they are built the right way. And they have all that new playoff experience. The question is, can they beat the Heat, the 76ers, the Bucks, those teams without Kawhi? I want to hear your take on that.
I think they could beat – well, I think they can beat anyone, but I think it's a big ask for them to get by Milwaukee. I think that's a huge, huge ask. I think Philadelphia is more talented than them, but Philadelphia is such a mess that everything that's wrong with Philadelphia is what is right with the Raptors. Chemistry, players knowing their roles. Just a good ball movement. No one taking plays off on the defensive end, except maybe Kyle Lowry. It's a team. So the only teams I see them really having trouble with are Milwaukee and Boston. Both of those two teams could be matchup problems there. So I definitely think they make it to the second round and maybe the conference finals. I would be pretty shocked to see them get to the NBA finals again. Now, they have been surprising me all the way, and I did not expect Siakam to make the leap that he did this year. So who knows?
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why, to me, this makes it so much more exciting this year than last.
Yes.
Now, I don't think you can get better drama of Kawhi hitting that shot in the corner, bouncing 2-3 times. Like, that was spectacular. That was special. And then to cap it off with winning it all, that's a cool moment. Now, let's talk about an underdog team that's not really an underdog team much anymore, is the Miami Heat. I thought these guys were going to be awful for years, and they're proving me wrong. Once Dwayne Wade kind of got out of the picture there, they have built a great team. What do you think about their chances? Now, I get that the NBA, when it comes to this, at the end of the day, it's number 1 and number 2 seed on each conference that usually meet in the conference finals. But there have been upsets in the past. In fact, wasn't it the Knicks back in the day that were an 8 seed and won the whole thing? That hasn't happened in a long time. And I know that Miami's not 8, but what do you think about the Heat this year?
Well, and it's interesting you bring up that New York team, because that was in a lockout shortened season, if I remember correctly. So if there was a year that a team like them, or on the West Side, a team like Houston could sneak to the NBA Finals with just the weird circumstances, this would definitely be the year. They kind of are the light version of the Raptors, in the sense of no huge superstar name that jumps out at you. I mean, you can talk about Jimmy Butler, but I don't know. Can you talk about Jimmy Butler that way? They're just a team that has a lot of guys that make a lot of sense on them. If Andre Iguodala is healthy, he is a nice piece, and that is a team that can really, really play defense. And they're a team that, with Butler, has a guy that's not afraid to take the last shot. Again, it would be an upset for them to make it all the way to the NBA Finals, but the East is more open than people realize, because, well, certainly the power in that conference is the Bucks. As we saw last year, they're very top heavy with the Greek Freak, with their best player being they're so much like the first run that LeBron had with the Cavs, where you have this one really great player and a bunch of pieces that are okay, but the whole thing is elevated just because of how good that one player is. Now, I would say that the supporting cast for the Bucks is better than LeBron had that first run. But even saying that, I think the East is more open than people probably realize it, and that those first 4 teams are, and even 5 if you include Philadelphia in there, are closer on a talent level than people realize. And this team, much like the Raptors, players know their role, really, really well coached, really, really strong organization with Riley there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make some noise. I'd be surprised to see them make the NBA Finals, but they can make noise.
I'm with you. Okay, let's go to Jimmy Butler just for a moment. Jimmy Butler, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for him because he was a Chicago Bull. I enjoyed watching him play, even though he's been deemed as toxic.
Well, that's okay. Hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So you're a Bulls fan. Jimmy Butler kind of does your team dirty, and you still have a soft spot for him. Like for me, Kevin Durant does not have a soft spot in my heart. I can respect I'm having a hard time when it comes to placing Kevin Durant historically because of my personal feelings, but I still respect his game. But how do you have like a soft spot for him? I don't get that.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. I'm not sure why. I just enjoyed watching his game. I enjoyed his talent. I enjoyed all of that. So maybe that's why.
Well, he's gritty, right? Like he works hard, and I think that's That's why I always loved Westbrook, for all of the weirdness of Westbrook's personality in interviews and things of that nature. You can't question how much he wants to win and how hard he works. And maybe that's the same thing with a guy like Butler.
I'm with you. Okay, so my personal opinion is the 76ers made the wrong choice. They kept Harris over Butler. I think that's another reason why they're where they are in the East. If they would have kept Butler, it would have helped a couple more wins. I think people would be taken a little more seriously. I am not a Simmons fan. I know that I'm not alone in that that statement. Excuse me. Embiid can be dominant. He thinks that he's the best guy in the league, especially the best center, which probably, I don't know, probably is. It's hard to say. I mean, if you would say Anthony Davis is a power forward, then yeah. But if you're saying he's a center, I'd take Davis.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the 76ers seem to be that team no one's talking about anymore, and they're still could be legit. Now, they're only a 39-win team. Granted, Boston's only 43 wins, so it's not like we're talking too much here, right?
But it's more than wins. It's more than records. Like, it's the eye test, right? When you watch Boston, again, team that's kind of figured out this year who they are with Kemba Walker in there. They've got the chemistry, got the pieces. Philadelphia, what's so frustrating, that team makes me so angry because they're so stinking talented. Next to the Lakers and the Clippers, they're probably the most talented team in the NBA. But they don't fit. They don't work well together. I don't understand. You watch what they do offensively, how they use Embiid, how they use Simmons. Nothing works together. I think the problem, as far as like the decision the Philadelphia 76ers made, it wasn't an issue of Harris versus Butler. I think they had to and should have made a decision between Embiid and Simmons because those two can't play together. And I am not buying them at all. I know they have the talent to make. They have a talent to win the whole thing. But I've watched enough of their garbage games, and that's the only description I can give. They are infuriating to watch, and I've watched enough NBA playoffs basketball to know that when you play basketball like that, you are not making it through 16 games to win an NBA championship. I don't think they're making it much deeper than the second round. If that. Right now, they're going to be slated to play Indiana, and if Indiana is healthy, they could be in trouble in the first round.
Yes.
That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but but there is, I'll say, a bias there. I watched them a lot this year, and I hated every minute of it.
Right. Okay, so let's go from Boston to the Nets. I think the Boston Celtics letting go Kyrie was brilliant. And I am a Kyrie fan. I love his handles. I love his scoring ability. He has seemed to me dropped off the map, but that was a brilliant move, Kemba Walker. And we've seen the dividends of that.
For sure.
But now we're going into Brooklyn. Now, is KD going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to play? Because that changes everything, right? Like if KD is there and Kyrie's there, do they make some noise?
I mean, again, they have the talent for it. I don't know. Like I'm not a mutant NBA athlete. Like I don't understand what it means to be that kind of athlete on that kind of level. Like, so the idea of being off for over a year and then jumping back into NBA playoff basketball, I just don't understand how you could be even close to game ready. But at the same time, Kevin Durant is going to finish his NBA career as probably one of the 10 best players ever. And so he's on a different level than most guys. So if anyone could do it, he's the type of guy that could. Here's the thing. Just like I hate watching the Philadelphia 76ers, I love individual moments from Kyrie Irving. I've never thought he makes his team better. I thought he hit an incredible shot against Golden State when they upset them when Cleveland did. But I still think that's LeBron ultimately carrying that team to that championship. The skill set I will never question of Kyrie. I just don't trust him. I trust Kevin, and I say that as someone who's been spurned by Kevin. But I don't, and the rest of that team I don't really like anymore. They traded away pieces that were fun last year. I don't know. You never want to bet against talent. We're talking top 3 talent in the league, right? Mm-hmm. But assuming they're the 7th seed, that means in the second round they'd be playing against probably Milwaukee. It's hard to imagine that even with Kevin Durant, with the team constructed the way they are, with him coming off the injury, I just don't see it.
And I think you're right, but I'm hoping in everything that you're wrong. Because I just think it would be amazing. Now, can I just go back to that final series where Kyrie hit that big shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but the only reason they actually won that series, and it was so fantastic to watch, is because Stephen Curry was actually injured. Oh. And he couldn't guard. And normally he can't guard, they say. But I think if a healthy Steph Curry, they win that series.
Oh, and if Draymond Green isn't a crazy person and kicking people and stuff, right. and not like, because he's such an important part to that team as far as what they do defensively. If they had just if he just hadn't lost his mind, they would have won that title.
Right.
And how we look at Steph Curry and boy, the entire NBA landscape, does Durant? There's no way Durant joins that team if they win a title that year. Like everything looks different. Wow.
Okay, so we haven't talked really about the Lakers and the Clippers. And chances are that's going to be the West final. Tell me what you're thinking. What are you thinking the Clippers can knock them off? Are you thinking the Lakers have enough to survive that team? Like, I'm not a Paul George fan at all. I don't know why I'm not a Paul George fan. Didn't he play? He played for the Pacers, right?
Yeah.
That's why. I do not like Paul George because he was a Pacer.
Why don't you like the Pacers?
That I should not like him because his skill set is fantastic. He's a great defender. He can score. He's a problem. I'm not a fan. I think that's why I don't like the Clippers, because I'm not a Paul George fan. I love Lou Williams. I love the potential of Kawhi. I do not like how he takes games off to rest or whatever they call it. That really bothers me. So I'm hoping the Lakers beat the Clippers. But tell me, like, what are the realities? Like, can the Clippers find a way to beat the Lakers?
Can they? Absolutely. Now I got to be honest about my feeling of both of these teams here. I've grown up hating the Lakers. They were the team I've despised my whole life, and so it's weird for me that because I kind of like LeBron James that I'm kind of cheering for them in this. But the Clippers, like, their roster is loaded with blue chip guys that are just good basketball players on both sides of the court. Paul George is incredible when he's healthy. Like, I think to match up someone that has Kawhi Leonard's, just the way he can orchestrate late game heroics, hit the shots that he needs to when he hits them, to be paired up with a Paul George who's just a hawk on the defensive end and also an offensive threat in every way. I mean, again, it's not Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, but very similar skill sets.
Right.
And then to match that up with guys like Patrick Beverley, who are just, oh, I mean, do I like the guy? No, he's rude and all this stuff on the court, and he takes cheap shots of guys. But is he a winning basketball player, the kind that'll get under your skin, a Detroit Bad Boys Pistons type player? Absolutely. And they are stocked full of those guys. If there's any team that can take out the Lakers, it's them, and I would not be surprised to see it.
Okay, so let's say it. Do they?
But do they put my
Yeah, you know what?
my-
Let's save that prediction for later. Let's give a teaser for. I want to do that one the playoff start. So
Okay, well, I mean, I'm willing to say, but that's fine. I can hold off.
I think just the idea that this is all coming together, this is going to be a good chance of reality that this is going to happen. I'm super excited about this. I'm excited about watching the Bucks, even though I think they have the worst jerseys in the NBA. And that matters at all. That's such a girl comment. Sorry, no offense to any women.
You think their jerseys are worse than the Clippers?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
100%. 100%. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's who's wearing those jerseys that matters, and I think the Bucks are really good. I am excited about this, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for us to try to go back and forth and say, "Oh my goodness, did you see this?"
Yeah.
Either this happened. Obviously, wish my Bulls were going to be in the mix, but obviously, we are not close to being even considered. But I think all these other teams are really good, and they're really fun to watch. I think I know what's going to happen in the East, but I would love for upsets to happen. I think the West is a pretty good lock. Those top teams probably going to stay top teams, but man, the East to me, I'm looking forward to it. So,
can I ask you one question about one team?
Sure.
I mean, is there a puncher's chance for the Houston Rockets?
Well,
in a situation where you've got no fans, no home court advantage, and Harden can do his stupid 5-step thing, get fouled every time, is there a world where that team in a year like this can sneak through?
I apologize for doing a Prime Minister Trudeau pause, but I think it's actually a great question. I really do. I like James Harden. I don't love James Harden. In fact, I'm probably more down on James Harden than most. But I like that the Rockets went and got Westbrook. I do not like their small ball mentality, even though on paper and statistically they actually say that is a great move.
Well, they're effectively playing Westbrook as center. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Okay, so they have ability to make noise. I don't think I cannot see them beating the Clippers or the Lakers. I could see them beating the Nuggets or the Jazz somehow. That wouldn't surprise me. But when they start playing the big boys, I just can't see that. I don't know. Do they have the chemistry? No, I just don't think they do. But Lakers wise, I guess only AD is really the big boy there. Westbrook playing center against the Clippers, is that a bad thing?
No, I think they're a matchup nightmare for the Clippers. I think the Lakers would be tough. I think they would give the Clips a run for their money, and the Clippers don't want any part of that.
Yeah. I love how we're thinking these scenarios and getting through this. Man, we're gonna do another video here coming up. But guys, I hope you've really enjoyed this. I personally have, Brad. Unfortunately, I was really hoping to get into matchups and talk about playoffs, but now because of the league, we can't do that. I do think the COVID-19 situation still makes it super complicated. How they pull this off, how people don't get sick, especially in the States with all the people that have been still sick. But man,
but how much of the plan have you seen?
Well, come on, listen. I can't get into what I actually think about that because it could back.
No. I mean, no, like the plan for how they're doing this and where they're doing it. You get what I'm saying?
They're doing it in Orlando.
They're doing it in Orlando in a bubble. If you look at the numbers, I mean, you got a state that's 2/3 the size of Canada, and their numbers statistically are almost the same as ours. And you're talking about the Disney World Resort. That's they've got the ESPN Wide World of Sports, all of the stuff that they use for the Orlando Summer League stuff. I think it's pretty conceivable to be able to, you get everyone in, you test them, make sure no one's got anything, and then you bubble them. No one goes in or out at that point. Everyone, you're locked in there for 3 months. Not that that's fun, and those poor families that never get to see that's going to be horrible.
But they're at Disneyland, or Disney World.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, they did. Disney did a press release or two. No NBA players are actually allowed to go to the parks because of, again, they can't be getting sick.
Yeah, you're right. They've thought this through. I think it's going to be a fail-safe system. I'm excited about it. It just makes me nervous. And I'm not a doom and gloom guy normally.
Okay.
But I'm excited. I think this is going to be good. This is going to be real deal. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to charge. Like, you think they're going to charge us to watch this?
Well, I don't know. I cut the cable cord and I'm all streaming with everything. So I'm assuming I'm going to have to pay a bunch of money to watch this. So I would bet for those that still have cable or dish, it's probably going to be on TSN and all that stuff. I'm just assuming I'm going to have to drop probably a couple $100, which I'm not looking forward to.
Why don't you just go get your cable back? It's cheaper.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't want to have to deal with SaskTel again. But anyway, no, I'm the eternal optimist right now when it comes to all of this stuff. That's not to say I'm not a realist of what's gone on with COVID, but I think I'm encouraged by. I think they've thought this through. I think Adam Silver is an incredible commissioner. Like, I think maybe the best in professional sports right now, and I trust he's got the finger on the pulse.
Well, thanks for being on Kempner Sports. Looking forward to our next one, which is going to be top 10 NBA players of all time. We might even get into some Last Dance conversation. I am excited about our next video. So thank you, everyone who's actually made it through this, whatever, we're probably over 40 minutes together. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you tune in. I don't think my next video is going to be this long, but with Brad and I, you just don't know. You don't. Yeah, you just buckle yourself in and you just see what is going to happen. This is probably, let me promo this next video. This is probably where we have the most fun.
Yes.
The most debates, come on, let's think about this rationally. Why are you insane? Conversation. So I just do want to press that. And so thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Brad, for being on. And
loved it.
For this next one.
Awesome.